It's the 4th District, represented by Barney Frank since 1981. It stretches from Newton, if you didn't know, down the South Coast, including Fall River and New Bedford. And for the first time in a long time, there's a real battle for this seat. One side is the Democrat, Barney Frank. The other is the Republican, Sean Bielat. Well, we'd like to show you Barney Frank, but we can't. We invited him to this debate since the primary often, and he's not here. Here's what his office told us, and I'm going to paraphrase for you. Quote, "The congressman is busy in Washington being a congressman. He welcomes debates, but due to scheduling conflicts, he couldn't make it tonight. Sean Bielat could make it, and we welcome you." Are you disappointed that the congressman did not show up?
I am. Apparently being a congressman is pretty busy work these days. So
And
fortunate that he couldn't join us.
But if you were a congressman, you'd show up for this, correct?
Well, look, the job of a representative is to be in the district, talking to constituents, being available to discuss issues. It's unfortunate that Barney Frank couldn't be here.
All right, well, we actually hit the district and asked if his constituents were disappointed. Let's listen.
I feel like it's kind of dropping the ball. I think that he should show up. It's part of his job. I mean, he may not want to debate, but he should.
I trust Barney Frank. If he says he can't do something, then I believe that what he's doing is important.
I wish he didn't, because I would always love to hear his point of view. I think he adds a tremendous truth to the whole debate.
If you could ask him something, what would you ask him?
Yeah, why didn't he show up?
Is that what you would ask him?
I think there's a lot of more serious questions to ask him, but it is a good question.
Oh, let's talk about those serious questions then.
Well, what accountability does he take for his role in Freddie and Fannie? That's an important question. What was his involvement in the set-asides for Maxine Waters' husband's bank? That's an important question. What will he do differently to help this economy grow and thrive going forward? That's an important question. So there's a number of things out there that I think that we ought to be talking about, and it's too bad we don't have that opportunity.
I was just going to say that. I'm sorry that I couldn't put those questions forward, so let's move on then.
Okay.
You've released this internal poll that has Mr. Frank at 48%, you at 38%. That's pretty decent, 13% undecided. You say you're closing the gap. And let me just say again, since the congressman is not here, his people did want to make sure that we knew that this poll is, quote, way off. They say that Mr. Frank has a 20-point lead. Whose numbers are right?
I don't know what numbers they're looking at. I do know that they invited President Clinton here to the district to campaign for him. I think that maybe tells us something. I also thought the second part of that statement was pretty interesting. So he said, you know, our numbers show us 20 points ahead. But then he said, no matter what we do. So that's the way they're approaching this race. They're saying, we don't have to campaign that hard. This is a shoo-in. We'll get there a 15th term.
Do you think it's a shoo-in?
I don't. And I
Why?
think that's what our numbers show. I think that's what hundreds of conversations with people around the district shows. I think day in and day out, we're seeing more and more evidence that people in this country, people in the state, people in the 4th District want to see a change.
Who are you, Sean Bielat? And by the way, let's just get the pronunciation right and the spelling right, because I already got hit on that. It's Sean Bielat.
That's correct.
Simple.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
All right, who are you?
I'm a Marine. I spent 4 years active duty. I've been in the reserve for 8 years now. I'm a businessman. I spent the past several years leading a $100 million line of defense technology, trying to keep jobs, trying to create jobs, trying to grow companies. These are the kinds of skills that we need more of in Washington. We need more people in the Congress, in the administration, who have led businesses, who have kept people in work, who have done the things that it takes to get an economy moving, because that's what's important right now.
I only really have about 30 seconds now. Just give me a couple of words on each thing. Illegal immigration?
We need to secure our borders.
Gay marriage?
It's not an important issue this year, frankly. I don't. That's it. I'm for traditional marriage. It's not an issue that we're spending a lot of time on.
Don't ask, don't tell.
I support the current policy.
Fishing regs?
We need fewer of them, and they need to be based on science.
You were a Democrat, now you're a Republican. Why? Why did you switch?
Because I feel like the party moved away from me. I feel like a lot of people here in Massachusetts. I grew up a Democrat. I had been a Democrat for a long time. Things started to change. The country started to change. The Democratic Party started to change, and I found myself more on the Republican side of issues.
All right. And the Islamic Center?
Shouldn't be built.
Sean Bielat, I really appreciate you agreeing to this debate. And Barney Frank, if you're out there, we're still inviting you, and that's an open invitation to you too, Sean. You'd be back for that, right?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think 2 people debates are better than 1 person debate.
So do I, but I think that was just fine. Thank you. Appreciate you coming by the studios.
Appreciate it.